it's not like a great movie, but the concept was cute and it captured my interest. It was a Vince Vaughn movie, and he wants to open up an Italian restaurant. And he wants the whole concept to be you feel like grandmothers are cooking for you and you're at home and it's full of love. I loved the idea. The movie is very slow, but it made me kind of think about there's just funny stories around. Like, I have a funny story. The apple pie that I make is our dad's mom's apple pie, which she always said she was going to show our mom, but she kind of always like would turn her back. She wouldn't ever totally let her see exactly how she did it, like her little secret ingredient or whatever. But then when I was in high school, she did like sit and like show me how she does her pie. And that's the pie that I make. And my family loves it.
Welcome to Three Little Fishes. We're three sisters who grew up in the Midwest together, but have since spread across the country. I live in Los Angeles.
I'm in Nashville.
And I live in Philadelphia. We are all married with children, have all had careers, but now we stay at home with our families.
Join us as we share secrets and stories about being women, wives, and mothers.
We welcome you to laugh along, learn something new, reach out, and join our conversation.
So let's jump in.
What's up, fishes?
What's up, fishes?
Hello.
How we doing?
Great. I don't know if everybody remembers, but we had our graduation party last weekend, which was a huge success. I got to see Kathy's oldest son, who drove in from TCU on his way to Philly. So that was like a bonus. So he just left today, and it was super fun to spend time with Gray. I think everybody had a really good time. And then we rolled right into Mother's Day, and my people did make me eggs Benny. And it was actually delicious. They did a great job.
My family also made me eggs Benny, and it was delicious. I just love that I did not have to make it, and it was very good. The egg was a little runny, but I did not complain because I did not make it, and I appreciated the effort.
So you didn't you didn't mention it at all.
I didn't complain about it. No. I think he might know now, though.
Poached eggs are hard to do.
They are hard. And it's hard to time everything.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because one thing gets cold or, I mean, there is an art to it that I don't have down because we don't do it enough. But
for sure. Kathy, how are you?
So I also got eggs Benedict too.
Yeah.
Actually tasted okay. It just was not like attractive. So the egg part, the poached egg part was great.
Oh. I actually saw a picture of yours and it looked like it was fake because it was so perfect. The egg.
He did a good job. And so
it was amazing.
Poached eggs are hard.
It was delicious. I said, you should do this more often.
So Kathy, how did your painting go? You also were working on your patio furniture that you were like obsessively trying to paint patio furniture. How's that going? Are you finished with this project?
So this has been a saga for sure, like a couple weeks worth of my time, like dedication. And I took everything to the basement last week and I was finishing up the chair. I think I was on Peter helped me with actually 2 of the last 3 because I was like, I think I was complaining too much. And I said it would be helpful if you came so we could both get it done.
Yeah.
And so he did. And then the next morning I had one left to do. And I ended up, because it takes me like over an hour to probably do one chair. And then you have to touch it up too. So it's really labor intensive. And I lost track of time. And I had to go to a lacrosse game that afternoon. And I came up like running, realizing what time it was. And Peter just stared at me. And I was like, what? He's like, what's in your hair? And I was like, he's like, you have black in your hair. And my ponytail, I look like I had dipped it in the paint.
Oh,
and
gosh.
So I think when I was like painting the chair underneath, my head was dragging on the ground where I had dripped. Yeah. But I could not get that paint out, you guys. So I tried everything. So I ended up having to cut it out. It was awful. And I went to this lacrosse game with a hat on, and I ended up having black paint on my neck. And my friend's like, "What's on your neck?" So I was a mess. I literally, after that, I told Peter, I said, "I've had it," because that was just the chairs. And we still had the table
Right.
to do,
Table.
our fire table, like other pieces, like our like side tables. So we ended up that night, we went to Home Depot, we bought a sprayer. So
Mhm.
Ay, ay, ay.
it's
Okay.
hilarious though, because the next day, Peter's like, I said, "Would you please help me with this? Because I don't want to screw up. I don't like reading directions. So I didn't want to like read all the directions on how to use it." He's like, "Oh my
Yeah.
God." He's like, "Yes, I will do it." So he took the reins, and you guys, it was like literally laughable because he was able to paint our entire table in less than 10 minutes.
It sounds like to me that was the right equipment to
Yeah, I
use.
mean,
Yeah, maybe.
they really do look good. And so he ended up respraying all the chairs that I had done. Not that they look
Mhm.
bad, but he just said the sprayer makes
Right.
it really uniform and you don't get like the
Right.
streaks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And no brush
anyway,
marks. Yeah.
I mean, I guess it was a
So,
learning experience for sure.
well, I'm looking forward to seeing those chairs and table, but like, so you cut your hair.
Yeah, so
Did you
now I
just
have
have to
like a
cut
little
like a
bit.
little tiny bit or what happened?
Yeah. How
I
did you get the paint out of your hair?
She
I
cut it.
really I really had to cut it out.
Oh, with
No.
scissors. Like,
Yes.
did Peter cut it or did you go to somebody to cut it?
No, because so during COVID, I bought like some barber scissors because we ended up cutting our boys' hair one time because you couldn't go anywhere.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I have these nice pair of shear scissors. So I just cut the hair, and so now I have some layers, which I'm not loving. And so today I'm actually going to a professional and getting my hair cut today. So we'll
So I
see.
guess my question is, did you cut it or did Peter cut it? Did you have to get Peter involved?
No, I cut it. I
Yeah.
had cut it in like just a couple minutes because we had to go to this lacrosse game, and I couldn't
Oh
miss it because
gosh.
it was like an important game.
And my next question for you is, what's going on with your cough? Is your asthma like, is it bothering you? Is it
Yeah.
asthma? Is it allergies? Are you sick? Are you joining us today sick? Like, what's going on?
Well, I think I am a little bit sick, but I think it is allergy related. But yeah,
Okay.
I'm not the best today.
Thanks for joining us, being under the weather and all the
All for
things.
you
All
fishes.
right. um, please continue to like, subscribe, rate, review, send us messages, and invite your favorite fishes to jump in and join our conversation. All right, y'all. What's the buzz?
The big news is we have a new pope.
Yes.
So
Yep.
Pope Leo the 14th, and he's from Chicagoland, which
Yes.
is
Yes.
sort of interesting. And he's the first US Pope.
And he
I
went to
think,
Villanova, which is in my
yeah, and
stomping
yeah,
grounds.
yeah. So I mean, I think that's kind of amazing. I think I read somewhere where he speaks like 10 languages or something. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, amazing.
He must be
Yes.
brilliant. I mean,
I
that's pretty
mean,
amazing.
that's awesome. So, if our listeners remember, we watched Conclave like
Yeah.
maybe a month ago. And it is interesting because, Kathy, I think you were telling us like they really do this like they sequester the bishops. I apologize.
Yes.
And then they also have like all these rules about what they can eat,
Yes.
even.
Yeah,
So,
this
like,
there's like it's secret. They
yes.
cannot have any outside interference, and so I think maybe there had been a breach or something, but their food, they can't have like ravioli or like whole chickens or pies because they are afraid there might be a secret message inside the food. Is that crazy? So they
So
have
what
like,
makes me laugh, it makes me laugh though, because it's like these are honorable men
Yes.
that are trying to lead this religious order. Can't
yeah.
you follow the rules and not like cheat or whatever and
Right.
do secret
Right.
notes? I mean, I don't know why there has to be all these checks and balances, but
Well, I
I
think
think,
it's
yeah,
also people outside trying to get, their influence. inside there.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it is kind of funny. Even their glasses have to be clear, so nothing could be like written on the glass or whatever. I mean, the whole thing is fascinating to me. I think it's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So anyway, we have a new pope. I mean, it's big. It's big news. He's pretty young. So I would suspect we'll have him for a good, 15, 20 years. I mean,
Yeah.
and then the Sean Diddy trial started. Like they picked the jury,
yes,
right?
8 men and 4 women. Their ages are like from 30 to 70 something. But it's so interesting to me how that trial's going to go.
Yeah.
It's like I think all the jurors, they were asking all these questions about like, what's their favorite music? Do they like celebrities? Like, what do they feel about cheating? Like, how they're picked is pretty interesting too,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
So,
trying to like not get biased, but I think that would be very difficult because we're human and we have biases.
Right.
And it's like, but the law is supposed to be blind. You're supposed to be
Yeah.
proven guilty. So it's like you have to go in with
Yeah. You're
that sense of direction.
Well, this man is innocent until proven guilty, but he's
Right.
behind bars and
Right.
he is not going to be out until he's proven innocent. I mean, the accusations are incredibly egregious and gross. So,
Aye.
I would have a hard
Yeah.
time being picked because I would be like, off with your head. I'm kidding.
Well, I mean, that's the other trick, right?
well,
Because the media is so we're with social media, we know so much. So
We
like,
do. Yeah,
50 years ago, we wouldn't have known as much information as we know now. So
that's right.
I'm sure it is tricky to go in with blind eyes because
Right.
that's not really the case.
Right.
right. I mean, even his old girlfriend Casey, like all that stuff was on video of them, in the elevator and stuff. So,
The
Yeah.
domestic abuse. Yeah.
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 Well, we'll see. It's
Time will
here to be
tell.
determined. Yeah. So
Yep.
totally to switch gears, Kathy, you were also talking to us, Linda and I, about this fancy nail polish that you are interested in trying. Why is this nail polish noteworthy and what's different about it? What's unique about it?
Well, I actually was complaining to my friend Sarah, who we had on, the secret
Hmm.
jeweler, and she says she uses this Dazzle Dry because I have been using gel on my nails and on
Hmm.
I don't normally do my fingers, but I do my toes religiously. But since using the gel, I love it because it does not smudge, and I'm always
Right.
wrecking my toes. But the downside for me is whenever I get it off, my nails are just a wreck. And so I
Yeah.
haven't been putting it on lately. It took me all winter to get them looking normal. I mean,
Hmm.
they get so dehydrated and calcified and spotted and they're nasty. So she told me that this Dazzle Dry is kind of an alternative to the gel. You don't have to have the UV light and it lasts, a little bit longer, like it lasts a week or so, but it dries very quickly. So she's like,
Yeah.
I love it. I think that we should
Okay.
try it.
I think we should too. I'm all for it because I feel the same way. Like I love to have my nails done, but I usually do dip on my fingers and then they have to kind of like buff your fingernail down and it gets like ridges and they
Right.
get kind of thin and dried out. So right now I have nothing on and I'm trying to let them get more healthy, but I don't want to have to do dip again. But I
Yeah, I
don't like
think
the way my
Dazzle
hands
Dry.
look without. I feel like I look ugly, especially
All
since I'm
right.
getting like some arthritis in my fingers.
Oh,
You are?
Oh yeah, like one of my pointer finger on my right hand is kind of like the joint is kind of like crazy looking. So I like to have my hands done, but I'm also giving them a break.
Yeah.
oh.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to give it a try and see what we think now that we're heading into
Yeah,
like
let's
summer.
all try it and see what we think. We'll have to
Dazzle
report
dry
back.
nails. Okay, let's do it.
All right, let's jump in. Creating traditions.
So
Uh,
girls, I the other day I happened to be home by myself and I was on Netflix and I watched this movie called Nonas. I think I told you about it, and it's not like a great movie, but the concept was cute and it captured my interest. It was a Vince Vaughn movie, and he plays this guy who lives in the Bronx. He's comes from this Italian family. His mother passes away, and he's like reminiscing, and there's flashbacks about like him being in the kitchen with his mom and his nonna and blah blah blah. And so he decides he wants to open up an Italian restaurant. And so his best friend from the hood helps him, and he interviews all these grandmas because he wants grandmas to cook in the kitchen, because he wants the whole concept to be you go into the restaurant and you feel like grandmothers are cooking for you and you're at home and it's full of love, and it's just this whole idea of like, which I loved the idea. The movie is very slow, but at the end we find out that it's based on a true story, and this restaurant is still open in the Bronx. It's been open for like 15 years, and grandmas from all over the world cook there. So
Yeah.
he got his wish, and it's super adorable, but it made me kind of think about like, the tradition of being in the kitchen, the smells, the recipes that you do over and over again. Um, Especially since I have kids that are gone, they come home. I had your son here, Kathy, and last night or the night before last, I come into the kitchen and the two college students are making mom's chocolate chip cookies. And they're
Oh,
like
how sweet.
measuring everything out, and they're talking about it, and they're baking them, and they're discussing if they're ready. And then they pull them out and they let them cool. And they both took one and they were like, yeah, this is
This is it.
Nana's. This is Nana's. These are Nana's cookies. And
Oh, that's sweet.
I just thought it was so adorable that they wanted to do that, and then they actually did it, so that
Yeah.
our all of our kids call our mom Nana and our dad Papa. And so they did Nana's cookies, which I think are her mom's cookie recipe. And it just got me kind of thinking about like some of the food traditions, some of the other traditions that we do. We've talked about like legacy gifts, but I also think like we have some like legacy food and like traditional things that we've done over the years. So Nona's the movie on Netflix is cute. It's not award winning, but the concept is very cute,
Yeah.
which I
I actually
really
watched it.
liked.
I watched it last
What'd you
night.
think?
I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was a little slow, but I did like
Yeah.
the fact that it was like made off of a true story, which is cool. And I liked the ladies that were in it. Um,
Yeah, they were good.
I thought the food fight was hilarious.
Yes.
These ladies are getting like
They were
mad at each other,
feisty.
and they're.
Well, the deep dive of that too is that it's about this character was mourning. He was grieving the loss of
Yeah.
his mother, and the tradition of how she showed love was through her food and through cooking,
Yeah.
which he was trying to find out a way to recreate that, right?
Right.
And being able to hold on to that, like our loved ones may go, but how can we hold on to that and hold on to traditions
Yeah.
as we are still here, right?
I think traditions can be anything, but I do have like, there's just funny stories around. Like, I have a funny story. The apple pie that I make is our dad's mom's apple pie, which she always said she was going to show our mom, but she kind of always like would turn her back. She wouldn't ever totally let her see exactly how she did it, like her little secret ingredient or whatever. But then when I was in high school, she did like sit and like show me how she does her pie. And that's the pie that I make. And my family loves it. So that is, it is. It's just like one of those
Yeah,
levels of love that you kind of like keep going as time goes on. It's like, Nancy, I'm sure like your strudel, like that's your husband's
Yeah.
grandmother's recipe.
So when Gigi passed, my mother-in-law, Judy, decided to put together a family cookbook, and she sent everybody a 3-ring binder with a handful of recipes in them. And the strudel recipe that she photocopied is from Tim's great grandmother, and it has a note on the recipe that says, hope to see you all for Christmas, enjoy strudel making. And it's
Mm.
just sweet. It's just this handwritten, note that's everybody now has in this cookbook, which I think is cool.
I
Yeah, I
love
love
that idea.
that.
And I didn't know that about Mom's cookies. I just learned something today. I didn't know that that was Grandma Haycock's recipe, which makes sense
I think it is.
because I think Mom's secret recipe or secret ingredient that I'm putting in quotes is Crisco. It's not
Yeah.
butter. And
It's butter flavored Crisco, and it makes the
yeah,
cookies really soft, and her other
Mhm.
little nugget is she doesn't use just vanilla, she uses vanilla and almond extract,
yeah,
Yeah.
which gives it, like,
Almond.
that little something. Yeah.
yeah. And Crisco is a lot cheaper than butter. So, like, if people are looking to like cut a cost and have a good product, that would be a good option.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
You know,
do you think that tradition can only be carried out through food, or do you think
No.
there's other ways to do it?
Yeah, I mean, for sure, it could be anything, like,
it could be
you know,
anything.
your yeah, your husband makes us, books every summer for being up at the lake, and which has been so fun to go back and look at because the kids have
Yeah,
changed, like, we all kinda look the same, but, like,
yeah.
you really can tell time progressing with the size of the children, the grandkids, so that's something I totally love.
I think Peter's family, like his mother actually makes Peter for, like when he was growing up for his birthday, grasshopper pie, which is his absolute favorite thing.
Yeah.
So my kids
Oh,
love that
yeah.
too. But Peter was telling me that a lot of their traditions were more about like vacations.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, like in the summer, they would go up to the Adirondacks in New York and they'd rent a cabin on a lake and they had a boat. So they would just enjoy skiing and stuff and hanging out there. And then because they were, in the New York area in the winter, the his parents would buy them all ski passes so they could all go skiing every weekend together.
Oh, that's fun.
So
That
those
is
are like the
fun.
types of traditional things that he like thinks about with his family.
I like to try to think I've been trying as I've had my family, they've been getting older to like marry like a new tradition with an old tradition. And a lot of my stuff goes around food because I love food a lot. But
Mhm.
we started a tradition of taking our kids to the Hollywood Bowl for the 4th of July. And
Yes.
we
Fried
take in a
chicken.
we take in a picnic and we make Grandma Tudyk's fried chicken. And it's
Yeah.
so delicious. So a little, new and old.
Fried chicken is a lot of work, but it's so delicious.
It is really yummy for
Yeah, I
sure.
mean, I too, like, we talked about this with Sarah Riley when she came on to talk about jewelry, like, some gift ideas. Like, we give our
Yeah.
girls typically jewelry when they have big milestone events in their life. And then, our son's graduating high school. So the jeweler called today to tell me something's ready. I'm not going to say it out loud because he listens.
Right?
I know. I've been thinking
So-
a lot about that. Like my son Riley is getting ready to turn 16, and I'm racking my brain because it feels like it's a significant birthday, and I want to give him something, but I don't know what that is. Like I got a
yeah.
piece of jewelry that I still wear. I actually am wearing it today. That mom and dad had. I love the ocean and I love dolphins, and so they had a gold ring made for me that has a dolphin on it that I treasure to this day that
Yeah.
I've had since I was 16. And in
Yeah.
the back of my mind, I'm just like, what can I give Riley that he could maybe hold on to that would have some sentimental value? But honestly, y'all, I am really struggling with it. Like,
How about like
am
a
I,
signet ring?
yeah, I thought about that maybe. He probably won't wear it, but does that matter? Is it just okay to
No,
have
honey.
like a piece of something?
Well, what
And
about like a chain? Does he have a necklace?
so I did think about a chain as well, and he's not interested in a chain.
Hmm.
Oh,
He's just really tricky to buy for. And I feel like if this was a girl, maybe it'd be
It's
easier.
easy.
And I don't know if I'm stereotyping that, but I just am like, so I'm really struggling with how to give him something of meaning, or am I putting too
Yeah.
much pressure on myself that he doesn't really need that and
Well,
he
let's
won't.
ask our audience. Audience, what do you think? Like, what's a good 16-year-old boy gift? Something that is meaningful, not outland, like we're not buying
Yeah.
cars, but like
No, I just,
Right.
something nice and something that you could hang on. You know, maybe something monogram, something you would keep. I don't know. Maybe our listeners will have a good idea for you because that is tricky.
yeah,
Yeah.
I
just
don't
something to
know.
pull at your heartstrings to be like, oh, when I was 16, my parents did this for me. Like,
Yeah.
I don't
I don't
know.
know.
And I don't know if I'm trying, if again, I don't know if it's even possible and I'm outdated myself, but it
Yeah.
feels,
Yeah, I don't
I don't
know.
know.
You know, I have one idea. What about an experience? Because I remember when Carson turned 16, Peter took him to Pinehurst to golf because he loves golfing.
Oh,
So you
yeah.
could,
Oh, that's a great
do
idea.
something that Riley really likes to do.
Yeah.
Come up with
Yeah.
something
Mhm.
that you
And
guys
like
can
really
do.
do it up, like get really good
Yeah.
seats to something or
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
yeah,
thought about that. Yeah.
that's
That's
a
a
good
good
idea.
idea. Yeah.
I mean, I went to Barry when I turned 50, and that was like awesome. So
You went to
fun.
Barry Manilow?
Yeah.
Yeah, California with
Yeah.
you.
Yeah,
Remember?
I know.
Yeah,
Listen,
that
I
was
love Barry
fun.
Manilow. I'm not ashamed to say it. I'm a Manilow.
You get the Berry Grams.
Yeah. All right, ladies, what's for dinner? So I think we are thinking to what's for dinner tonight of posting some of these legacy recipes.
Mhm.
I thought that I would post Grandma Tudek's fried chicken recipe, which is delicious.
That sounds good. I want to make
It
that.
does sound good.
I might even make that before the 4th of July this year because it is really good. And I hope that you guys enjoy it.
I will include the apple pie recipe. So dive in. It's really easy and super good.
I'm curious. Did you ever share this recipe with Mom since you got the
Yes.
true recipe? Does she have
Yes.
it?
She does and she makes it. So
Oh,
she's
she
figured it
does.
out. Yeah. Mom is
How?
unbelievable at it. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
And I'm going to post the grasshopper recipe so
Okay.
y'all can enjoy that too. Well, we want to thank you for listening to our podcast and letting us sisters jump into your day. Please make sure to follow, rate, and review us. Have a wonderful weekend. Sisters out.